Welcome to Nuts at Night, episode number 70. Nuts at Night is basically a show where a couple of guys get together and we talk about stuff that we think is interesting. And you may or may not think it's interesting as well, but we seem to have a good time. So that's all that matters, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we do. I'm Steve Cherubino. I'm going to introduce the co-hosts now. Joining us for probably the second time in Nuts at Night actual show history, not post-show, is Chris Berry from technologyadventures.com. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Cool.
And joining us as well as the other co-host, as usual, always on every show that we do, Steve D'Amico from smvcomputer.net and crappycrapcrap.com. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's going on?
No.
I almost killed myself yesterday. Some people, I'm sure, might be happy. I was taking down a humongous, me and my brother were taking down this huge sign from my building, the building I'm in.
Right.
And I got permission from the landlord to take down this huge sign from the reptile shop that used to be there, but not there anymore.
Right.
And I just called him up and said, hey, is that sign bothering you? Because it's bothering me. I'd like to write computers on it. She laughed, and then she said, yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you want. Just don't kill yourself. And then I almost did. And my brother put up this rickety ladder, and he knows what he's doing. That's the craziest part. And he undid the last bolt, and it came flying and almost took me out.
Wow. You're lucky.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I was lucky. I kind of was watching. I was paying attention, so that's why I didn't.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you have insurance, Steve?
No. I don't even know what that is.
Well,
my wife always yells at anybody that tries to get me into scenarios like that and goes, he can't do that. He needs health insurance. That's what she usually says.
that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
Yep, I didn't get hurt, and it missed me completely. So I'm gonna be changing around that sign. I'm gonna do it all myself, but except for mount it. I'm gonna paint it and everything, and I was gonna do it all, but then I realized I can't do it all. I can't mount this thing back up. When I saw it come down, I'm like, down is easy, up is hard. And it's big wooden sign. I'll probably take pictures and put it on Twitter.
All right.
What
Hang on.
are you doing
hang
with
on.
the sign? Why'd you take it down?
Hang on, Chris. I had to stop the recording for 1 sec. Got to change your audio for 1 second, Chris.
Am I too loud?
No. You're fine. It's coming through the wrong channel.
His video is so much better than mine.
Hang on. No, you're perfectly fine. I just have to put you through a different channel.
I have a dedicated webcam. That's probably why. What are you using? One on the laptop?
Yeah.
I got one of those Logitech Pro 9000 jobbies.
Is that what? I thought that's what I have. Webcam Pro 9000.
Yeah.
Why does mine look like poo and yours looks good?
Well, take a look at the two of us. I mean, I'm a pretty good looking guy.
I get it.
Okay, we're good. All right. Sorry about that.
Do we have to start over?
No.
You know what, Chris? You're right. You're hot.
I know. Thank you.
I'll just take it to the creepy level.
Well, you can continue to be creepy because I'm going to need 2 more minutes here.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to turn down my heater. I'll be right back.
Yep. Okay, what are we going to switch that over to there? Okay. Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa, it's fuzzy.
What's all that sound?
Yes. What are you drinking? Iced tea?
Yeah. Can you see it? Arizona.
Everything's so delayed, eh?
Yeah.
Do you watch the Ustream chat while you're doing this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Or Ustream, I mean Justin TV, you know what I mean?
You know what? No. Okay, my laptop, my Lenovo X. Here's my laptop, my lappy top. And this is what's got Skype on it. And I don't do anything with it. Oh, there it is. See, I don't do anything. There's my little Android little guy. And it's just for Skype. And it's got a wire. Now I use a wire instead of Wi-Fi. I'm being better.
I do the exact same thing. I have a little crappy Lenovo netbook, like an S10, that I didn't know what to do with, and so it's now just a big Skype machine.
So I use that, and that's my webcam and my Skype, and then and the computer that I'm in front of is just a different desktop. But it's still my webcam doesn't look as good as yours.
No, well, you must have the settings weird.
Yeah, maybe I do. I'll play with that.
Okay, you ready? Sorry about that, guys.
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, Chris, you were asking him about the sign. You said.
Oh, why did you take down the sign? What were you doing?
Hey, ready? Say that again and go.
Hey, why did you take down the sign? What were you doing?
Well, the sign actually said reptiles all across it, and it had a big snake, and it's really cool looking. I gotta take a picture of it before I paint over it. And the reptile shop is not there anymore. And there's three available units. Mine is like a fraction of everything else. And then there's 2 big units, and this one's really dedicated to the bigger unit. But since nobody's there, I'm going to take advantage of that. And so I'm going to repaint over it where it says reptiles, and I'm going to put computer repair on it. And it's going to be the biggest sign on the building.
Cool. Are you going to take it to like a sign guy and do it properly, like proper lettering and stuff? You're not just going to like paint your name on it?
Somebody did that before, and it looks really good. I'm going to try at least, because it's just piece of wood. It's just a piece of wood with paint on it.
You mean freehand or?
Well, I have a friend.
Chris, the answer to your question is yes. He was just going to paint on it.
Well,
Steve, I gotta say, don't do it, man.
Okay, I did it. You're right. No, you're right. You got a good point there, because I did an A-frame sign. I painted it, and I tried my best. I drew on it first. I really spent some time on it, and when I was done and everything, and I thought it looked pretty good, and then I left it alone and came back to it, because you refresh your mind. You look at it again from a different light. It really did look like an after-school project.
Spend the $100, man. Spend it. It's the best 100 you'll ever spend.
I did. I got a better A-frame sign, and it's really pro. I never took a picture of it.
Get a new one. Your new one. Get it lettered properly. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I probably.
Steve,
I'm gonna
what do
have
you
to
think
get
of
it put. I'm getting it mounted professionally for sure, because there's no way I'm climbing that ladder with this big, heavy monster sign. I almost killed myself moving it from one room to another.
It depends on how much it would cost. I mean, how much do you think it would cost, Chris, for him to do it?
Well, I got my car lettered, the whole thing. I got the hood, both doors, and the back window, and it was $160. So I can't see it being much more than $100, $125 just to get some letters slapped on there.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I do have an art student friend, and he went to art school legitimately and everything, graduated, and he's a design major for something else too. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what I'm even talking about.
Does he owe you any favors?
He's poor, so I could probably just pay him like something. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'll talk to the sign company first.
All right. Let us know. All right, Chris, what do you have for us today?
Okay, so I don't know, nothing. I just sort of brought a couple little goodies. I don't know what you guys want me to talk about. Just anything that's interesting in my life. Is that sort of the drill?
Have you ever listened or watched the show?
A couple times, yes. So it's a show about nothing, kind of like Seinfeld.
Well, yeah. Just tell us whatever you think is interesting. We'll let you know if we agree with you or not.
Oh, right. Good customer stories would be great too. That'd be great on this show.
Yeah, we like good customer stories.
Or horror stories are the best.
Good customer stories. Okay, let Steve go first. Let me think of a good customer story.
Oh, jeez.
All right. You know what? Let me go first.
Okay.
What do we got here? Let me look at my notes. All right. Let's see. Wikipedia, right? Why was I on it? I was looking at something. It was one of the shows we were talking about. I think Dora gave me a link. We looked at something on Wikipedia, and I saw the ad that Jimmy Wales put up there about Wikipedia being asking for donations and stuff. Let me just go to wikipedia.org here. Let me do a search for something. I'll search for podnutz. Nothing ever comes up. Okay, an ad. Wikipedia. Please read a personal appeal from Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales. So if you do a search on Wikipedia for something, you're going to get this banner ad up at the top. And it's the only ad you're ever going to see on Wikipedia. And this is what is fascinating to me. I mean, this site is fifth biggest site on the internet. And if you notice, you've probably had good experiences on Wikipedia and not even realize that there's no ads on that site, just because ads are on every other site on the web, but not on Wikipedia. And I'm fascinated by his whatever is causing him to do this. Like, whatever his ideals are, is he for real? Is he a really benevolent person? Is he just kind of crazy? Is he a good guy? I mean, I don't quite know what to make of this. So he basically asks for donations. And you don't have to donate. That's the thing. You don't have to donate. But that's the only ad you ever see on Wikipedia. And you could donate in, measurements of 20, 35, 50, 75, 100, 150, 250, or other. So you can donate however you want. You pay by credit card or by PayPal. And he basically says, let me read a little piece of what he says here. Together we can keep it free of charge and free of advertising. We can keep it open. You can use the information in Wikipedia any way you want. We can keep it growing, spreading knowledge everywhere, inviting participation from everyone. It's the 5th most popular site in the world, but Wikipedia isn't anything like a commercial website. It's a community creation written by volunteers, making one entry at a time. You are part of our community, and I'm writing today to ask you to protect and sustain Wikipedia. Okay, I can kind of see where he's coming from here. All the content on Wikipedia was written by the community. So if he puts ads up and he's profiting, I could see you could feel guilty, like you're profiting off of the community. I mean, what do you guys think about this? Should he put ads on? I mean, what would you do?
I think he should, because I mean, it could be done tastefully, and it could be done. The right ads could be chosen. That not like poker stars or something. And it could be just really subtle, and like Google obviously knows how to make some subtle ads. I mean, can you think of the Gmail ads that are there? I barely remember they exist. And then if every ounce of the revenue just goes for, say, operating costs, why not?
But this isn't subtle. Have you seen those ads? They're not subtle at all.
In Gmail?
No, in Wikipedia.
Well, yeah, that big header. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's hardcore.
The ad for donations?
Yeah, it's really big. It really stands out there.
Yeah, but it's not there all the time. He does I think he does like a round of donations, and then that's it.
But like I said right now, please read a personal appeal from Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales.
It's interesting because he could make so much freaking money by putting ads on this site. I'm not a fan of ads, but it must take some restraint on his part. And I'm wondering what his motivations are. Is basically what I'm thinking. It's a fascinating thing for me. Like he's got the potential to be a billionaire right here, and he's restraining himself.
Is he rich already?
I don't know. He might be. He's got to be able to just be comfortable at least. I don't know. I don't know how much he makes actually. He might have a part-time job running Facebook. I don't know. So who knows? But I like Wikipedia. I use it all the time. I mean, Google loves it, and every time the only way I actually get to Wikipedia is to do a Google search and end up on Wikipedia. But I always use a site, so I think it's a good site. And it's just an interesting phenomenon, I think, in the internet world right now to have a site like that big, that is completely ad-free. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm on board. I love Wikipedia. I think it's excellent. I also think that I also kind of lose respect for people that trash Wikipedia. I'm like, all right, yeah, we got something else that's better.
Right.
What some blog somewhere with a news article by who knows who. With who knows what research.
Yeah, it's kind of like Wikipedia is written by the users. They might not be experts, but then you have people kind of reading and correcting. There is some quality assurance going into these things from people who read them and go, wait, that's totally wrong. I'm going to change that. So it's not just a crazy person writing all the articles. You know what I mean? And that is actually some of the cases with real reporters. They're crazy and they're writing all the articles. So Wikipedia in a lot of cases is more quality checked than other things.
Wikipedia is like the whole foundation of the internet. Like the whole point of the internet was for people to put things like this up online for everybody, no matter how much money they had, to be able to see all the information in the world, and
Right.
for the community to edit it and make it the best thing. It's like, it's the whole point of the internet is Wikipedia.
Was that the point of how the internet was made? Is that their purpose?
Well, I mean, you got to think the internet is, sort of for the people by the people, right? And that's what Wikipedia is.
I guess so. Why do I have in the back of my mind that it was like for military reasons it was created?
Well, that was the intranet.
Oh, really?
And wasn't that pardon me, an intranet? No, I could be wrong. I'm sure someone in the chat room is going, "Oh no."
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Us on Nutz at Night can be idiots on the subject and still talk about it. I just want you to know that. There's no...
Perfect.
It's allowed.
Wikipedia, it reminds me of what it possibly could be in the way future, like in 1,000 years or something. It could be like that. If anybody's seen that obscure movie, The Time Machine from 2002, it was the concept was that there's these computers which look like big pieces of glass, and they have all recorded history on they've all information like super encyclopedias, and there's like a little video of a guy just explaining stuff and speaking. So you'd ask him, hey, so what's this, and he'd just look it up and then tell you all about it.
Right.
And it's kind of like and I think that's kind of almost like our version of our version of Wikipedia.
Yeah,
because it has information just about everything.
I guess so.
I mean, it has episode guides for TV shows and then world history. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I think is going to happen? I think Google's going to get a hold of this somehow. And they're going to talk. They're either wait for Jimmy Wales to die, or they're going to talk him into giving him the rights to Wikipedia. And because that's what they want. They want this kind of thing. What Wikipedia has is what Google wants, because they want people to read the internet. So they can put their ads on it. They just want eyeballs looking at the internet to get information, and that's the kind of information they like. That's why they index it so high. I bet they are trying or have in their master plans, acquiring Wikipedia. I'll bet you.
I don't think they would have to acquire it. Maybe they would import the data somehow, and make it legal into some kind of other application, whatever that might be. That would probably
import the
I think
data.
That would be their motive.
I don't know. I mean, if they could make that legal, yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I think they're bold enough to want to buy it.
I don't know if it would be for sale.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I don't even use really Wikipedia very much. I only go to it, like you said, Steve, the odd time when Google brings up something that's relevant for me in Wikipedia. But I never actually go to Wikipedia and look up stuff.
Never. I never do either. And I always end up there through Google, so it works.
There have been times, and I guess I have to admit it. There have been times I've looked up something on Wikipedia and then got drawn in and sucked in, and I start reading for 2 hours straight. I don't know why, but I guess I'm just that kind of a nerd.
No, it's interesting. I don't read it for 2 hours, but it's very interesting, and they always have links to other things that they're talking about. So I could see how that could happen.
That's the rabbit hole. You start reading about something, you go, "What is that?" And then the dictionary. You talk about how you an Android app addict. She was talking about how you like to look up dictionary.com when you don't know a word, so you don't feel so you can learn more about words. Because how else are we going to learn new words?
Right.
It's genius. I think it's sometimes that's what I'm doing when I'm reading a Wikipedia article. I'm just sitting there going, okay, that is this, and it's also part of that. What are they talking about? I don't even know what that means. And I click, and then oh, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Click. 2 hours later, click. What does that mean?
Hopefully you come out shiny at the other end, but I guess you could get into this maze of things you're just trying to figure out.
No, I come out with gruff, tired, bleary-eyed, and having to pee.
All right, who wants to go next? Bring something to the table.
I'll go. Steve, did you get that email? Just there's some pictures in it. So if you did, the first picture is of a truck that a guy lettered, Steve wants to letter his sign, and it looks really good. If you got the email, put it up on the video. If not, I'll move on to the next thing.
Nope, it's up. That van that sells salmon.
Yeah. So that's what your sign's gonna look like, Steve. I don't know about you. I ain't calling that, buddy.
It's a white POS van that has the word salmon written in salmon-colored lettering, spray painted on the side of the van.
I saw that driving by me, and I had to take a picture. That is why you spend money on lettering, right there.
You know how much fish that guy sells? He probably is the highest salmon seller in the country, the freaking state.
If that guy showed up and he had salmon, there's no way I'm buying salmon from him. I don't care how cheap it is.
You might
Come on,
not.
guys.
You might
Yeah,
not.
but he at least spelled it right.
I know.
Yeah,
You gotta
he
give him.
did.
You gotta
Salmon.
give him credit for that. You gotta give him credit.
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
fantastic. Okay, so that's number one. That's fantastic. Steve, do your sign properly. Number two, do you, so the other day I went to an old guy's house and he had obvious computer problems, and I walk in, and the nice thing to do is take off your shoes. So the first thing I did is I popped my shoes off and I start walking, and my socks are sticking to his hardwood floor. I'm like, this isn't good, right? This is gross. And I go up to his computer, and this computer was so dirty and disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. Steve, I sent you another picture. You can show that, because that was his mouse. And it was, when I touched it and used the scroll wheel on the mouse, it was so goopy that there was stuff left on my fingers after I touched it. And for some reason, I touched my arm, which was short sleeve shirt, and my arm started burning. It turned red. I had to go. I was like, "Can I use your washroom?" And I ran into his washroom and like washed it with, all he had was a bar soap. Of course, I was just praying for pump soap, right? I'm like, "Come on, give me some liquid soap here." Damn it, bar soap. So I'm washing it off with the bar soap. And then, finally the stinging and burning started going away.
Wait, you just touched your arm and it was burning?
Burning. You see the goop on that wheel, right? Like the chunks of goop. It was wet, like gel almost.
Oh my god!
It's got to be some kind of
so I plug in my own mouse, and he goes, "Oh, is there something wrong with my mouse?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think that might be some of the problem with the computer. I'm just gonna try it with my own mouse." I was like, "Oh," I was hunting through my bag, going, "Come on, you better brought a mouse, you son of a!" And there was a mouse in there, thank gosh.
Oh, lucky
and his keyboard was just as bad. And then of course, I'm going through his computer, and he's like, "Okay, well, we figured that he might go for a new computer." And he's like, I'm like, "How much data do you have to transfer over?" And he's like, "Oh, not very much." I'm like, "Do you want me to go look in your documents?" Yeah. So I click on his My Documents folder. What's the first thing that comes up? About 75 pictures of porn.
Oh man!
So, Jesus. I'm just like, oh no, I really hope this is some sort of gel on this mouse and not anything else, because this is just too much.
Dude, I can't even look at that thing anymore.
That was the nastiest call I've ever gone on. I threw away those socks. My hands, I washed them with Percel or whatever it is, like 12 times. It was something else.
You don't have, like, your arm isn't scarred or like burned through completely, is it?
No. But where I touched it, it was within about 3 minutes. I went, "Why's my arm burning?" And I looked over, and it was so red around that area and burning. Oh, baby.
That is crazy. That's so bad.
I'm thinking of wearing gloves at customers' houses, like Sleep Country wears the booties around their shoes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, no, I'm gonna wear gloves. It's for your own safety. I want to say, I could be sick or anything.
Oh man, that's why you charge what you need to charge.
Totally.
It's for jobs like that.
Man.
Wow, I'm gonna remove that picture from my computer forever. I'm almost nauseous.
When he bought a new laptop from me, and he says, he goes, "Do I need anything else?" I went, "Yeah, I think you need a new mouse." So I took his mouse and threw it right in the garbage.
Oh man, I can't believe you even took it.
Yeah, gross. I threw it in his garbage. His computer was gross and sticky too.
That's what I was gonna say. How was the computer itself?
It was gross. I opened it up back at my house because I took it as in trade because it was still a P4, but it was gross.
That's so nasty.
That was the worst customer I've ever been at.
Well, I have a pretty bad customer, but I'm a lunatic, so I don't get too skeeved. But that's why I'm a lunatic, because I'm definitely different from everybody else in this. It takes a lot to skeeve me out, and actually I wasn't too bad. I actually just thought this entire situation was just funny, but I'm sure you guys would have screamed running. So I get a call from this guy, and he's just frantic, and he has no idea what. I mean, he barely understands what a keyboard is. He says he only uses his computer about 3 or 4 times a year, right?
Right.
So I'm like, oh my god, right? So he goes, I don't need this thing. I don't want this thing in my life. I only use it to, to just. It was something about trading and watching investments, and he had a lot of big investments. And he was in his mid 80s. So I'm like, all right, I'll come down. I don't know what the hell just came down. And
we're losing you, Steve. We're losing you. Can you hear me?
Well, maybe it's gonna.
Okay.
I'm on a wire, man.
I know. I had to stop the recording. Let me call you back on Skype. All right.
Is it better now? Because my little thing changed.
Give me a testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh wait, no, it didn't. Testies 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Here's the last thing we heard from him.
He was in his mid 80s. So I'm like, all right, I'll come down. I don't know what the hell.
Okay. Take it from there and go.
So I figured out. I just, why bother? Why bother like trying to troubleshoot the issues on the phone with this guy? So I just figured I might as well just go down there and say hello to him. So I get down there and I find the house. It's in a really nice neighborhood, but right from the curb, I could tell there's some problems. His grass was like 3 feet tall. I'm like, oh my god, right? I'm like, what am I going to see inside here? So I start walk down his driveway because I always park in the street, and his garage door will not close anymore because it's completely packed with stuff and it's falling out and there's stuff all over this. Just kind of like. And it was cold out, so this guy wanted to really close his door, but he couldn't close his garage doors because there's too much stuff in there. So I'm like, oh my god, right? And there's cats like all over the place. There's like 7 or 8 cats. I could count them before I even walked to the front door. So then I start banging on the front door, and he answers it, but he won't open the door all the way. So he goes, come in. Oh, I'm so glad you came. Oh, come in. And he's this little 80-something-year-old little Asian guy. The guy was a complete hoarder. Just like on the TV show. Stuff piled all the way to the ceiling. And he couldn't open his door all the way because he only had made little pathways. And he's a little guy, but I'm not that big too. So I was able to kind of scoot through. And I was just looking around and I was like, oh my god. I was lucky because it wasn't really bad, this stink. But he takes me to the worst place of the house. Took me all the way down into his basement. And as I'm going down the basement, I'm hearing like rustling and like things moving around.
No.
Like, oh my god, what is going on? Right?
Watching behind you as he's coming down the stairs, make sure he doesn't have a bat to knock you out. yeah, collect even me, right? So then he brings me down to this ancient laptop, right? That's connected with a dial-up connection, and he's trying to connect to this website, and he has to do some kind of continuing education for some kind of investment course that he's involved in. So I get him through the whole thing, and he starts doing the course with me. And as we're doing it at this little rickety, awful table, completely surrounded by junk and filth, I'm looking up. I keep looking up because I keep hearing noises. I'm like, what is that? Turns out I kept hearing in his drop ceiling. He had a drop ceiling above our heads, and the drop ceiling was missing tiles. And I'm not kidding. There was. I know the sound. He couldn't hear it that well. I could tell. He was saying what to me like 50 times while I was there, and he couldn't hear them, but there was mice or rats, I'm not sure which, going just running around in the drop ceiling, running above our heads, and I kept looking up thinking that they're gonna dive through the ceiling tiles that are missing and land on my head. And the whole time I'm just looking up going, oh man, this is wild. This is great.
Now you said he had cats, and these cats didn't even get the mice?
No, I think there was no. They couldn't collect them all. Just couldn't find them all because they were all up in the drop ceiling. The mice just had too many hiding places, I guess, because this guy was a complete hoarder. And then he goes, oh yeah, no, sorry, I didn't clean up a little bit. And I was like, wow, you
say that a little bit.
Like 40 dumpsters.
It's taking you a month to clean this up.
No man,
but there's no month. This guy was feeble. There was no way he was cleaning this house out,
Yeah, that sucks.
It was great.
I had a customer like that. It was the worst part about this customer. She was like miles away. It was like when I had my mobile shop. She was hours away. No, maybe like an hour or so away, and I needed the money, so I kept going up there. I went up there a couple times. First time I went up there, I get to the house, right? And there's a bunch of nice houses all in a row, but they're like small houses close together. All these houses nice in a row. And then the one I get up in front of, it looks like the house just spilled out the front door and onto the lawn. It just looks like that's what happened, because you get closer to the door and there's just more stuff, like chairs and tables and just stuff, like all the way leading up to the front door, in like a bigger and bigger arrangement till I get to the front door. And it's just like, I can't imagine what's in this place. And then I went in, and it's just like you said, stuff stacked from top to bottom, all the way up to the ceiling, with pathways through the house. So we're walking around different paths, and the computer was upstairs in her bedroom. And no, actually, it actually wasn't her bedroom. It was her son's bedroom, who died about 2 weeks or so beforehand. And she keeps hearing him upstairs walking around. And she's telling me this, like, as we're going up the stairs. Like, yeah, I hear him up there. He's definitely still here. It's haunted. And then she brings me up into the room, sits me in front of the computer, and then leaves. So, like, and besides that fact, she was just nuts. She was just a crazy person. So I tried to fix her computer. I got like Norton antivirus was like on there. I think I removed Norton antivirus. I think I put AVG on it at the time. Did some other stuff and left. And then she just kept having problems. I had to go back there. I think I went back there two more times. And it's just a nightmare. Crazy people, crowded haunted houses. It just does not make for a good day. So
I
love how
have
you
a quick
told
one.
us she was crazy. Yeah, we didn't get that.
I mean, like, you could have somebody who has the appearance of being sane and still be a hoarder. But no, she was nuts, a hoarder, and had a haunted house with a son who overdosed on drugs.
Oh, I mean, that part's sad, but yeah, that sounds hardcore.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. Anyway.
You know what? I don't mind the hoarder. I don't mind the filth. I don't mind any of it, as long as it's not in a horrendous neighborhood with like gang violence. You know?
Yeah.
As long as it's that, then I just laugh. I just laugh and giggle the whole way. I can just go, "Woohoo! This is gonna be a story."
Yeah, I know what you mean. I thought it would be a story. It was fun for the first half an hour, and then like the other 4 hours, and the rest of the times I had to go were not fun. But speaking of bad neighborhoods, Philly. I had to go downtown Philly, worst part of town. I didn't know that, but I went not knowing that. And I arrived there, and I go to pull up in front of this person's house. I'm on their street, and the car in front of me just stops. And a guy gets out, and he walks over to his friend, and he starts talking to him. I'm behind, like, he's in the middle of the street, just stops his car and starts talking to his friend. I'm parked behind him, and he just doesn't care. Like, he does not care at all that he did that, and I'm behind him and probably want to keep driving down the street. And he had the appearance that I wasn't going to mess with him. Like, he could park there as long as he wanted. And so he gave me a look like, what, you want to drive down the street? Like I'm crazy. And then eventually he got back in his car and kept going when he was done with this conversation. But, scary days back in Philly.
Yeah, that's the one thing I refuse to do. There's a couple neighborhoods in, like anywhere, that are bad around here, and I just refuse to go to them. I have one customer. He's a good paying customer. I like the guy a lot. He moved to an area of Long Island that is known for its shootings, and he outright asked me. He goes, you don't have a problem with my new location, do you? I said, yes, I do. And he goes, well, what's the matter? I said, I don't want to get shot. And he goes, oh, come on. He goes, oh, come on. That doesn't happen. I go, do you read the paper? And he goes, no. I go, well, maybe you should.
Damn.
Because I don't want to get shot.
That's exactly what I said. He goes, well, what should I do if I have a problem? I said, put me on remote. I'm not coming there. And then he goes, and then he actually asked me for advice about a computer problem, and he used the word advice. I said, my advice is to duck.
Oh, man.
And then he eventually moved from there. I go, why'd you move from that horrible neighborhood? He goes, I don't know what it was. It's just everybody would come in and nobody would buy anything. He says, because they don't have money. They're poor lunatics. And he's like, oh, man, you might have a point. That's what my wife said. I was like, oh.
That's what my wife said.
I have a quick one. It was a horrible, the worst, I think possibly the worst situation I've ever been in with a customer. Definitely the most embarrassing. for me was oh God, this is terrible. This I'll never forget this. Probably the day I die. I was working on this guy's system, and he was doing T-shirt design and posters and things like that. He's a printer, and he won't back up his data, but he's got like really important business data all over this laptop. And I'm telling him, you got to back your stuff up. And I started explaining, what a hard drive is and everything else.
Right.
And I go, I said, these things, they just die. Right. And I see, by the way, I'm in there. I see all these posters and like pictures and stuff of this boy. Right.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just, whatever. I just doing my work. And then I don't really get too nosy, really. And then I go, yeah, well, hard drives, they could die like on a flash. And I like what you say, Chris, like a light bulb, they just burn out. Well, I said, well, like occasionally they just stop working instantly, like kind of like having like an aneurysm. He stops me, right, and looks down, and I could tell something happened. I'm like, what's the matter? And he goes, well, that's what happened to my boy. And I'm like,
no, dude.
I swear to God. And I go, what do you mean? And then he told me that his son died like 6 months ago. Well, 6 months at the time. And it was a freaking aneurysm.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to crawl into his computer and hide.
What did you do?
I just stood there and went, I'm really sorry about that. Oh, wow. I was just like, and then I just got really quiet and then changed the subject like after like about 2 minutes.
Wow, man. That's just
what are the odds?
What are the odds? What are the odds? It's crazy.
What a downer, huh? That was like, I called my mom right after that. I was like, Mom, you're not going to believe what happened to me. She goes,
that is definitely something to call your mom about.
Yeah, I called her up and she was like, she goes, that could take us any time. I'm like, Mike, I don't need the drama. She's like,
that could take us anytime. Oh man,
it can take us all. That can happen to anyone. Lift your legs.
That's a great thing for your mom to say. Eh?
Yeah, right. You're looking for to get cheered up. Hey, I'll bring something. Today was Black Friday. Is Black Friday? No, it was. Yesterday was Black Friday. It's 12:03. So, actually, it's still Black Friday for Chris.
Yes, it is.
For those of us on the East Coast, it's not anymore. So what did you guys do? I mean, Chris, I would have to imagine you got something, right?
No, I didn't buy anything.
No? Steve D?
Every year I do the exact same thing on Black Friday. You know what I do? I stay home.
Yeah. I thought about it. Because I was out in Philly one time, 4 o'clock in the morning at a Best Buy, standing like with a line that stretched around the block. So I said, I'm never doing that again. So I waited till about 5 o'clock and I went out looking at different places. And it's still crazy, but it's calmer, and the deals are still there. So I ended up buying this microphone / audio interface for. I'm making my new product is I'm going to be making a product, how to podcast. That's going to be one of my next podnutz products. Ooh. How to do what I do, basically. And it's going to be all video, and I'm just buying some equipment to test out and use. And I bought this piece of crap. It's a M Audio. Let me get it, actually. I'll show you.
That's a great idea, Steve.
Thank you.
I got feedback on my end. I can hear myself, eh?
Yeah, that might go away, but let me know if it doesn't. And
Okay.
your Ustream feed isn't on, or your Justin TV stream isn't on, is it?
It is, but it's mute.
Okay. Anyway, it's Avid, which used to be M Audio. Avid basically made. It used to be Avid made movie software, and that's you either use Final Cut Pro or Avid. Most companies most productions were using Avid, and then M Audio made the audio stuff, and Digidesign owned M Audio. It's all the same company. Anyway, this is now Avid. It used to be M Audio. It's called the Avid Vocal Studio, and it comes with it's a great idea. It comes with a mic that has a USB port in the bottom, and you don't need a mix or anything. You just take the mic, you put it in a stand, and you plug it in USB to your computer. And great idea, right? It was awesome. So I found it at Best Buy today for $50. It's usually $100. So it's like basically a little recording studio, all built into a mic through USB. It's basically everything a podcaster would need. But so I tested it out, and it's missing some things. So I'm actually going to take it back. I don't recommend this product if you want to be a podcaster. But how did I get onto this? Anyway.
Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday. So it was. I still got a good deal, even though I went out like 5 o'clock at night, and it was kind of worth it. But I'm taking it back. But I do have to show you guys something. This is one of the things that I thought was interesting. Directions. The directions in this thing now. I'm opening it up, and I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to read all this and whatever. There's like no words in these directions. It's like a full page of directions of just pictures, and I'm reading it. And I'm thinking to myself, is this what we've come to? I mean. Is this what?
Yeah.
Is this what's needed? Look at this.
Yes.
It's just like, step 1, take the stuff out of the box. Step 2, see the big red circle. Don't plug the mic into the computer yet. That's step 2. That's what I got out of that. Step 3, put the disc in the slot on your computer. Step 4, they show a screenshot of what the disc is going to look like once you put it in. A couple other things. And I'm reading it, and the whole time I'm reading it, I'm doing the steps, and for some reason I felt like I shouldn't speak while I was doing these steps. Like, that's the way you feel with these instructions. You're like, okay, there's no words on here. It's kind of creepy. You're like, you follow all the instructions with no words, and you feel like you have to be quiet the whole time. I don't know what it was. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I got everything fired up, and it's a really crappy version of Pro Tools on this thing, and I really don't recommend it. You can't even burn MP3s with the software. It's that limited. So. Oof. Definitely going back to the store. But that's what I got for Black Friday. Just wondering if you guys bought anything. Some pretty killer deals out there. All right.
You know what? The really killer deal, like I guess there's some, but what I noticed is that some of the a lot of the advertised deals are not really, I mean, they're good. They're pretty good, but they're not like legendary. You know, like they occasionally they'll throw a TV setup that's like worth like say $1,000 that they put up for $300. I saw a couple ads for that. But what a lot of people don't know is, or they'll put a laptop up for sale for $150 or something.
But there's only 2 of them.
Exactly. There's 3 per store. And
right.
Then you look at the line and there's 70 people online.
Exactly.
So, I mean, do I need to do the math here? Who's going to be disappointed?
It's like, and then, it's like playing a lottery. People think they're going to get it.
But I don't understand. Like, if you're the 60th person online and you're waiting in the cold, right? And I mean, do you really think you're going to be the one that gets the laptop?
Yes. Yes. People they think highly of themselves, and they think they could pull that stuff off. They think some people think nobody else exists, and that they they deserve to get that thing, and they will get that. I don't know.
People love to say how much money they saved. You know, like I got friends on Facebook that went, "Oh, I went and bought $400 worth of stuff, but saved $400. So really, I'm up $400." Right. And it's like something fun for them to brag about and talk about, but. You know, really, I don't really care. I don't really need to tell everybody how much I saved. I'm good.
You know what it's like? It's like when you buy something. I don't know if you ever experienced this. When you buy something and then you realize you have to return it, you get that excited feeling like you're able to spend that money again. You know what I'm talking about? It's like it's almost like I can't. It's like you actually bought something, but you feel like you're getting something for free when you return something. Like if you bought something for $100, you go and return it. You go, wow, I got $100 now, and you go spend it. Like you didn't just spend it. You know, it's funny. It's an interesting thing about returns. I don't like returning things, by the way.
You know what? Here's a great riddle. I came up with this on my own. I swear. I love this. This is one of my favorite riddles. Okay, check this out. It's a trick question, by the way. If you go to the store, right, and something's 50% off, and it's $100, and you pay $50 for it. Right? How much money did you save? By the way, it's a trick question.
You already asked me this, so I'll let Chris answer.
I did? Okay, Chris, go ahead.
My head hurts.
Nothing.
All right,
you spent $50.
You saved nothing, yeah. You spent $50.
You saved nothing.
50% off.
But everybody will tell you they saved $50. Of
course, because it was $50 off.
But they didn't save $50.
No, but there's a little bit of flaw. I appreciate.
When you save something... No, because when you save something, you take the money and you put it in a savings
account. By being 50% off, you save 50%.
It depends on their original intentions. If they planned on buying that thing, and they went into the store and it was 50% off, they technically saved $50 because they would have walked out spending $100. So they saved $50.
But the point of the riddle is that it's like, the point of it is to point out that the people that go out there to spend money just because it's a deal, in the end, they're really just spending money. You know what I mean? Everybody, because I think that's a lot of a problem with it's a problem with a lot of people.
Yeah.
They overspend and everything else. Just because it's a deal, it doesn't mean you have to spend the money.
Right. That's right. I get your point. Because it's a deal doesn't mean you have to spend the money. Right. But
You are spending the money. People think that they act like they made money when they went and bought things.
Yeah.
When in reality, you're not at all. Like kind of like
change your voice to a woman and start yelling at me a bit more, and you sound a little bit like my wife.
Well, you know what? I think it's the opposite. A lot of women they want to spend that money. They see the 50% off, and they can't pull their credit card out fast enough.
So you're saying
no, I'm that way too.
So you're saying women will vehemently disagree with you when you tell them that they didn't save
when I
any
go
money.
to my wife and
Most
and
of
I
the time,
tell her that it was $500 and I got it for $250, but I put it on the credit card, she's still like, yeah, but idiot, you spent $250 we didn't have. And I go, wow, that hurt a little. And then that is what it is.
That's awesome.
I think the only time that I guess the only situation which is rare, right? A rare situation for that is when something's like, say, $500 and you're gonna buy it, you're gonna spend it, you've already committed. It's a commitment that spend that money. Money's set aside, it's ready to go, and then suddenly you find it for $250, and you're like, oh my god, that's when you really did save $250.
Right.
But if you really did save the $250, you'd take the $500, you put the $250 on the table, and you take the other $250 and stick it in the bank account. That's really saving $250.
Yeah, who does that? I take the other $250 I saved and went and bought something else.
Chris, who are you kidding? You take the $500 and say that this computer doesn't cost enough, and you go buy one for $1,000.
Touche.
All right. Hey, why don't we do what do you like and what don't you like? Chris, do you have anything on this? I'm going to ask you before.
Yeah, I brought something. Yep.
Okay. Chris, what do you like?
What do I like? I learned this on the last post show. Jailbreaking your iPhone. What? The iPhone was great. I really enjoyed it. I liked it, but it was starting to get limited, and I was hearing all you Android guys, and I was starting to get a little phone envy. And then I jailbroke my iPhone. Wow. It's a different life out there when you jailbreak it. You can do anything you want. You can make the buttons on the phone actually do what you want them to do, not what Mr. Jobs tells you they should do. You can make Wi-Fi tethering. Oh, amazing. Another great thing that I love is I wear a Bluetooth headset in my car, and then when I go into the customers, I take it out because I don't want to look like a tool.
Right.
And then when I'm sitting and working on their computer, if they bugger off, I'll put it back in my ear just in case the phone rings.
Right.
But what you can do is play my podcasts and stream it from my iPhone up into the Bluetooth headset and listen to it when you have a jailbroken iPhone. Great. So I'm listening to podcasts while I'm fixing their computer, and they're none the wiser. Beautiful. You can download any size files. There's like a 3G enabler on the phone, which makes it so if you go into the iTunes store on your iPhone, if it's not jailbroken, you can't download podcasts because they're too big over 3G. When you jailbreak it, you can download any size podcast or any size file over 3G. There's no limit. It can be a 50 meg file if you wanted, and download it. That is key, because sometimes I forget to sync it to my computer and download all the podcasts before I leave for the day, so I can still download it. And I'm barely scratching the surface on the stuff I'm learning how to do on jailbreaking.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could do that.
I didn't know I could do any of this stuff either. So the other things I can do is like on the side buttons. So that Steve, you'll know this. Steve C. The side buttons, the volume up and down, right? Mm-hmm. They were volume up and down buttons. That's all you could ever do on anything.
Right.
Well, you can map those to anything you want. So now when I push the volume up button twice, my Bluetooth headset connects. When I push the volume button down twice, it makes the mono work, so I can listen to my music through my Bluetooth headset. Like stuff like that, which before you'd have to like dig through 6 menus to get at your Bluetooth settings, is 2 clicks.
Wow, I didn't know it did all that. It sounds like it's like a breath of fresh air, like you opened a window and in a stuffy room.
It sounds like the handcuffs are
being
off, or maybe
trapped
the jail
in the Apple world,
it's jail
right?
broken.
And then now I'm not as trapped.
Yeah. Damn. That's pretty sweet.
Dude, it was sweet. It was the best thing I ever did. And you know what the best part of it all? Free. Now, the one app I bought was $20, and that's a lot. But that one makes it so my phone turns into a Wi-Fi hotspot, and I can use all the data that comes with it. Hey, that's $20 pretty well spent.
It's good for you. I wanted to talk about this on the Android show because my Wi-Fi, my wireless tethering kept breaking on me. So
I've tried it a few times so far. The only thing it's WEP, W-E-P.
Yeah.
So it's not like super strong encryption. But at the same point, you have it on for 15, 20 minutes, you turn it off.
Exactly.
So I'm not too concerned. But it would be nice if it was stronger encryption. But whatever.
That's a good thing to like, man. Well, that's a good one. We should do a iPhone show maybe.
Yeah, I'd like that.
All right, Steve D, what do you like?
I really like Joomla. I mentioned it before a few times, but I've kind of repicked up the Joomla project. I'm working on a project with Joomla, and I love it. It's great. It's a lot to learn, but I've learned that you can learn Joomla pretty easy, and pretty quickly if you check out YouTube. There's a lot of instructions and tutorials on Joomla, and also
Steve,
my favorite part.
sorry. Move your mic a little bit closer to your mouth. I'm just not getting you fully.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. So I got everything you said up to like the last minute. Here's what you said.
YouTube, there's a lot of instructions and tutorials on Joomla.
Can you take it from right there?
Sure.
Okay, go.
And there's the best component for Joomla is because there's components that connect to Joomla. Joomla is for building. It's a content management system for websites. I didn't say that in the beginning. It's basically an really advanced website and it's a creation tool like a content management system that you install, kind of like Drupal. And one of the components that you can install is called VirtueMart, and turns your Joomla site into a shopping cart system and a product website. And I'm working on something like that, and it's really, really cool. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of YouTube tutorials even on VirtueMart. Yeah,
these content management systems are great. I mean, I use Drupal, but I tested Joomla before I went to Drupal. I wanted to see what it was like, and I actually built a couple sites in Joomla, and it's just slick, man, because it basically puts a foundation there, and then you just put your crap in it. You know what I mean? Like it is the structure, and then you dress it up, you paint it, you put the content in there, and you just let it rip. But it's like the engine, Joomla itself, and there's all kinds of themes and stuff, and it's open source, right? I think it's open source. It's completely open source, and it was originally Mambo, and then it branched off for whatever reason, and now you can actually update it from within the app and from the web app and everything. And you also what I really like is it has the ability to change themes on the fly. Right.
So you just go, I want this theme, bam, and it just immediately changes the whole site around.
And you know what the coolest thing about these content managers, you could like Joomla, it's all web interface. Like if you want to add content, you log in from any computer and just log into your administrator, the back end. You just log into the back end and you put whatever you want in there.
Yes,
and it's so cool because you can just change the look of your website with a click. All the content's in there. Boom, new theme. I have a totally new website. I just switched to WordPress, which is the exact same thing as you guys are talking about. And my site is all done on WordPress. It was fantastic. I had a site up and running in 48 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anything out there that's like, I don't know Drupal, so I can't comment on that. But if there's anything that I do know of and play with that is possibly better than Joomla, it's WordPress. But WordPress is simpler. It doesn't go as far.
WordPress is more blogging, originally blogging software rather than content management. But it's a very thin line between the two.
Yeah, because you could really do what you. Oh, go ahead.
WordPress 3, I think, has gone a little more towards doing static sites, or not static, but doing more like actual websites like Joomla and Drupal. It's still very, very bloggy, but it's better. WordPress 2 was more bloggy. WordPress 3, the stuff you can do with the menus, and you have drop down menus now, and just that's a simple thing, but that wasn't really too well before. It's done really well, but I've heard Joomla and Drupal are really powerful.
Yeah, they're powerful, but WordPress, I don't know. I'd like to see how far it's come. I mean, people love it, but I don't know. I'd like to see how it compares if they did like a feature checklist or something.
when I started using WordPress, what I noticed that I love so much about it is after the installation, and some basic, learning the basics like adding a module, or not a module, I'm sorry, like adding some of the plugins and things like that. That took a little bit of a tiny little learning curve, but I mean within a couple of hours, I've never even seen it before. I was done. Was pretty much done with the site.
Yeah.
The hardest part about it was editing just customizing a little, tweaking the what is it, the look of the site,
Right, right.
the theme. And that was the only thing that took a little bit of time, was just customizing the theme. But aside from that, I mean, just learning how to post, looking through, playing with your comments. There was pretty much no learning curve. You just do it. The hardest part was just the installation.
Yeah, there's so many like open source, like you did, like a shopping cart sites or an auction site plugins that you put into these content management systems where you don't have to hardly do anything. It's like they're so complete.
Well, but not Joomla. Joomla, you're in the code. Oh, not in the code, but there's no code in this, but it definitely takes some learning.
Like okay.
Joomla is tough. Joomla and Virtuemart, like when you put them together and everything in the themes, it's not out of the box turnkey at all. Like WordPress. Yeah, WordPress is almost turnkey. I mean, almost. It's like you get it done in half a day, definitely.
You install the theme, you hit a button, it's uploaded, and you go, yeah, I'll take that.
Joomla's like that, but you're talking about merging Joomla with the shopping cart. So if you merge WordPress with that stuff too, it might be pretty difficult. I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, Joomla's tough just because there's a lot of customizing to do. There's a lot of data to kind of change around. There's a lot of things to add and tweak, and it's really pretty complex in the customizing and getting it up to what you want, because it's a big site. You're making a really big site, but otherwise, it really takes. But when you add your Virtuemart, and this is where the real genius comes in the whole thing, is that as far as I know, there's really no free way of doing what you can do with Joomla and Virtuemart together. Everything else is like monthly charges, percentages of income. There's definitely overhead with websites. With this, there's no overhead other than the hosting costs. So that's what really, and you're doing it yourself. If you're not hiring a programmer to kind of work on it with you, then really there's virtually no costs up front with setting it up and overhead for like a little web-based little sales business.
It's something interesting to try at least once in your life.
I have to say, you know what? I got to say one thing. I wonder, so I called 3 web design companies because I wanted to see how much it would cost for a quote-unquote professionally done website for myself. Each one of them was like, oh yeah, we can do this and this and this. And I said, okay, well, what's the underlying? Are you going to like hard code this? Are you going to do PHP? Are you going to do HTML? No, we use Joomla. One guy was. I'm like, oh, okay. Another guy's like, oh, we use WordPress. Another guy's like, oh, we use WordPress. And I'm like, so, why wouldn't I just do this myself? I didn't say this to them. Why don't I just do it myself? And I did do it myself, and I built a great site. So my question now is, why hire web design firms? Who are these guys? What do they think they're doing? Just taking, like, how... I don't know how to explain it. Why would I pay them to do a WordPress site that took me 48 hours to make fairly feature complete? These guys used to be HTML gurus, and that's fair enough. But why now?
You don't even need to know the HTML. Now, if it's a WordPress site, I wouldn't hire somebody. I mean, being a tech guy especially, having some technical
why even
knowledge.
hire somebody? Why at all do the HTML? Like why? I mean, I knew a little HTML because I took some programming in school. So and you know what? It helped doing my WordPress site for doing some stuff, in the WordPress boxes where it's WYSIWYG editor, to adding a little bit of HTML for formatting. It did help things, but what are these guys doing? I don't understand.
Here's what I think they're doing. the WordPress and Joomla and these other sites are the engine. And they're building the rest of the car around the engine. I mean, if you have a good web designer, he can make an awesome customized site with beautiful graphics where maybe somebody can. Because
like a theme, you mean, right?
Like a theme, but also different plugins and stuff like that maybe you don't know about. They know how to take the engine, which is WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal, and build whatever else needs to be built around it to make the site your own. I don't think that there's no market for this. I really don't. I mean, you're a smart guy, Chris. That's why you could do it and figure it out, and you're techie.
Right.
But, I mean...
So, okay, Steve, check out a site called themeforest.net. and they have Joomla, Drupal, and WordPress themes that you can buy from anywhere from $5 to $37. And these themes are professionally done by web developers and web guys that are selling the theme. So you know what I think these guys are doing personally? What I would do if it was my business doing web design, I would go to a site like that, buy the theme, resell it at $1,000 and put content in it for the customer. That's what I would do. And you know, I've thought about that. You know, I have a feeling it's probably what these guys are doing. I mean, these sites are everywhere. They can just go buy themes, and your website will look totally different from one guy to the next. You know,
You're
and
right.
there's thousands of themes on this thing.
You're right.
And they're all super good.
And they're so sharp looking. I mean, their edges are so rounded. I mean, they really look good.
I
They
know.
really look amazing.
I want to buy some right now just looking at them.
I bought two.
Yeah.
I bought one for the business that I have now, Technology Adventures. My new site is on one of those themes done there. And my new business, West Coast IT Services, I'm doing another theme that's going to be for that. And you know what? Like I said, boom, $37. I don't have to worry about the design. Sure, I do a little design, my logo, you know, some little design stuff in Photoshop, but most of it's just content, upload, done.
Right.
48 hours, I have a new business.
That's good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I went off a tangent there, sir.
No, that's all right. I pulled up your
No, it's
site,
great.
Chris, and we were liking this picture before, but now it's even better.
Yeah, you told me to put computers in it.
I know.
You see my daughter's computer and mine?
I see it.
But I think you squished the picture. You squished it, right?
It's the size that it has to be. Yeah, I know.
That's all right. Needs a little tweaking, but that's all. We told Chris yesterday, like last week. He said, like, how do you like my new site? And he had a picture of him and his kid on there. We're like, oh, we love the fact that you're there with your kid. It makes you like real and like your father. You're a real guy. You're a nice guy. And I suggested, Chris, why don't you put a computer in there? I don't see any computers on your site. So now he has a computer of him, his kid, and a computer.
I took a new picture. I went, all right, done. Steve's right. I told my wife, you're taking a picture. I put 2 cameras down. And you also said to add the phone numbers there. Did you see I had the phone numbers?
Oh, no, yeah, he did a lot of good stuff on the site. I think it's great.
I already had 2 people go, oh, we called you because of your picture. Your daughter's so cute.
No, really?
I went, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
new strategy.
Genius.
Put your kids in the picture. If you don't
2
have any
people
kids,
told me that this week.
make some up.
Yep.
I saw when I first saw your daughter.
If you don't have
in a
kids, make
picture,
some
you-
up.
and
Is that what you just said? Awesome.
Yeah. When I first saw the picture of your kid with you and on the site, I was just like, "Oh my god, genius!"
I know. Like,
Genius.
Chris is taking us to a new level, is what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. What do I like? Well, I'll tell you guys what I like.
What do you like?
Good. I like good live bands because I haven't seen any in a while, and I saw some a couple days ago, and live bands are awesome, especially original bands, not cover bands. Cover bands are cool and they're fun, but if you want to hear good new music, there's nothing better than a good live original band, and I highly recommend going to see some if you haven't seen them lately. That is what I like. All right, Steve D, what don't you like?
I really, really am annoyed with, and I really hate it, and it really bugs me, is when you see Christmas decorations. I know this is a little late, but Christmas decorations before Halloween. Actually, you know what? That really bugs me, but it annoys me. It just annoys me before Thanksgiving, you know?
Yes.
That just bothers me. But before Halloween, even, like, you're gonna like pretend like Halloween doesn't exist and start that early in October.
That's bad.
Christmas should not be a 3-month thing.
Well, and hearing music, like when you go into department stores and stuff, you hear Christmas songs coming over the PA system in October.
God.
I saw a Santa in a mall about 4 days ago.
Oh yeah, Walmart
Yeah.
has a whole full winter section already, or Christmas section already. I went
Like,
to buy a
come on,
table.
people.
I wanted to buy a tablecloth. 'Cause one time, I had Thanksgiving at my house this year. One time occurrence, I had to put a tablecloth on my table, and I wanted an orange one with some turkeys on it, and I couldn't because everything had Christmas stuff on it, peppermint and Santa Claus and stuff. So I mean, I like Christmas, but I want to just like hold off.
December, right?
Yeah, wait.
December
Right.
1st, Christmas your heart out.
Exactly. Okay, Steve, I agree with you. That's basically what I'm saying.
It really just has to. It just shouldn't be that way. And you know why they play that music, right? They play that music, and they play it early. And the reason they can't wait to play that music because they think everybody's gonna go, "Oh, I gotta spend money." They hear you because they believe retailers believe if you hear that Christmas music, that means you're gonna yank out your wallet.
I didn't even think about
backfires
that.
to them because I just get hungry. All I want is turkey as soon as I hear that music. So I leave their store and go somewhere else.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
I'm the same way, but a different way. I just go candy canes and leave.
That's great. All right, Chris, what don't you like?
What don't I like? I don't know if you guys brought this up, and I think that's the right term is CAPTCHAs. You know those darn things that you at the bottom of a website after you filled out a form that is RTZ5923 with this crazy dot pitch over top of it so you can barely see what it is.
Right.
And you type it in and it goes, no, you're wrong. And you go, son of a, and you type it in again. It goes, oh, sorry, we forgot your password from the last time you typed it in. Oh, God. So you go back, type in the password. Now it's a new CAPTCHA. And then I look at that one and go, gosh, I think that's an R, but it could be an I. Oh, those things drive me crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
You know, I don't like them too. And they're getting harder and harder. There was one I gave up on a couple days ago. I couldn't do it. And I can't remember what it was for. I think it was for the chat room for the Tightwad Tech guys. I think it was for either for their chat room or it might have been for Freenode. We're moving the Podnutz Lounge to freenode.net. It might have been those guys too. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I never give up on them things. I always get them. This pissed me off because I couldn't get it. Couldn't do it. It's not right.
But I've been noticing some of them have that little refresh thing where you can say, I can't understand that one, and you click on the little refresh and it changes it to something else, and you go, I don't understand that one either, and you just click it again, and then that one I get.
No, a lot of them do have a refresh, but
you can hit the play button too, and ittle play sound for you.
Yeah, but you ever listen to that? I never have. Dude, I have nightmares about what happens. Like hit that play button, and then
I'm scared.
It's like demonic. Is what it is.
You know what? I swear. I really was never hit that button because I was afraid of what I'd hear.
Yes.
Honestly.
I hit one
time. It
time.
might give me nightmares.
I hit one time. I'll never hit it again.
I was scared too. That's funny.
I really have been always scared to hit that little button. You're braver than me, Steve.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to know what I don't like?
What don't you like, Steve?
Well, first of all, I don't like the mosquitoes down here because they freaking are like industrial grade. They like kill you. I was like out on my lanai.
I heard they rob you. I heard they literally fly in through your windows with baseball bats and steal your wallet.
I think I was a couple pounds lighter after they were done with me, actually, from all the stuff they took out of me. I was out in my lanai and I have a little rip in the screen in the lanai that the landlord just happened to leave for me to fix when I moved in. So I went and fixed that. And idiot me, I'm out with a sewing kit trying to sew a screen up because I don't have the patch and I didn't want to use duct tape. So I'm out there with a sewing kit, and I don't sew. So I get out of the lanai, I go to sew. I'm out there for about 3 minutes, and all of a sudden, all of my extremities start itching at like the same time, and I'm like, I just realized I was like the total effect of an ambush by like mosquitoes that were just waiting in the bushes for me to come out. Because they hit me so fast. And, like if you're only out there for like a minute or two and you get hit bit by a mosquito, like, oh, I got one. Like I got him just in time. He didn't take too much out of me. These guys must have been like sucking or whatever they do for like since the minute I got out there because I killed them all and I itched like crazy with big lumps of like, you get lumps when they're just vicious. Big mamas. I came down here and you guys were saying, oh, the bugs are horrible down there. Bugs aren't horrible. They actually aren't. I don't see like bugs. I don't get killed and attacked by bugs except around is that twilight when the sun goes down? Whatever. Yeah. Around that time, you go outside, just watch out for the mosquitoes, man. That's all I have to say.
That's so funny. It's like November 26th. It was -7 outside of my house today. You're talking about mosquitoes on your lanai.
Dude, I'm out. It was 8. Dude, I was 80 out tonight. I wore shorts. It's been beautiful all week. I opened my windows today just because it was too hot. Or no, it was too cold inside my house. So I opened my windows to get more warm air in.
Oh,
Santa doesn't come to Florida.
He's coming this year. No, okay. I really like the weather down here, except for those mosquitoes, man. That's one thing that they're a little nastier than they are in Philly, and they like me for some reason. It must be like fresh meat for them. All right.
You know, that's why I'm coming down to Florida. You know that, right? Because I heard it's warm down there.
Dude, definitely. It definitely is. You've heard right.
My major hatred is for those horse flies. Oh man, those things are mean, and they'll land on you, and then you like go to swat them, and then they're like, haha, and I'm smarter than that, and they take off before you swat them.
I imagine them. They actually bite. They don't
you.
like sting. Like they have actual teeth.
Oh man. I got bit by a couple ants the other day. They grab on you with their little pinchers, these guys, and they hang on for their life. It's like if you zoomed in and you could picture them just like swinging around, like holding on just by their jaws, because they're in there, man. Ants are pretty vicious down here too. Don't mess with the ants.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's it for this show. Let's end this baby off, guys, and we'll do some post-show action. Chris, where can people find you?
Technologyadventures.com, and you can follow me on twitter.com/techadventures.
There you go. If you want to keep in touch with Chris, that is the way to do it. Steve D'Amico, how could people find you if they would like to reach out and touch you?
Reach out and touch me if they come to my house.
You have a Twitter, don't you?
Yeah, I have a Twitter, SMD Steve on Twitter, and I post regularly. There's a lot of people out there on Twitter. I noticed a lot of the tech seem to like Twitter more than Facebook, so I kind of partly abandoned Facebook for Twitter. And you can see my blog and I do blog actually semi regularly, StephenDMico.com.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I don't know what it is either, but I'm not a Facebooky booker, whatever you call them. I'm not on there. Totally off. But I do Twitter. And you guys know where to find me. So thank you. Hey, Chris, thanks for coming on the show with us tonight. It was fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was fun.
And Steve D, thank you as well, as always.
Sure, anytime.
Okay, that's going to be it for tonight's episode of Nuts at Night. We'll see you next time.